Hi there, I'm Barry Vaudrin, the cruise journalist, and you're watching a special episode of Cruising Authority where we're cruising to Alaska aboard the beautiful Oosterdam with Holland America Line. This special episode was made possible by the Cruise Web at cruiseweb.com and also the Port of Seattle. Let's go now to Jean, who will tell us a little bit about the Port of Seattle. What is your name?
Jean Cox.
And what is it that you do here at the Port of Seattle?
I am the General Manager of Cruise Terminals of America, and we are a company that lease and operate both cruise facilities from the Port of Seattle.
Now, what is it that you do that's unique here in this port? I know there's so many different ports around the world that have cruise passengers, but what's unique about the Port of Seattle?
Well, let me start with the surroundings. The port is located in an absolutely fabulous area, and you can get on the ship and go for 7 days, and yet you see so much that's easily accessible for a pre- and post-cruise. You might come back sometime and say, I want to see a little bit of the Olympic Peninsula, or I might want to drive and hop on a ferry to go to Victoria and Vancouver Island, all within a couple hours driving, or you just explore Seattle itself. So it's a natural setting. The airlift is fabulous for people coming in, as you know, because you had an ease one this morning, and then hopping on the ship and enjoying 7 days in Alaska and seeing all of Alaska.
Now, Jean, I understand that the Port of Seattle has some very interesting conveniences for cruise passengers. Tell us a little bit about those.
One of the top conveniences, I think, for the cruise passengers is the capability of checking into your airline once you board the ship. So that's kind of a traumatic thing for people. They've been on a nice ship and then they have to get their bags and go to the airport. And so the ships offer an online registration, and your bags get taken away and you see them next time at your destination airport.
Now, the Port of Seattle seems to be very well streamlined. Tell us how you were able to configure this port so that it flows so well.
Well, I can speak for the cruise operation. We are really fortunate to have two excellent locations very close to downtown and close to the airport. And in the pre-planning for this facility, which opened in 2009, we had all of the professionals together around the table to say, what are the challenges? What would ease the passenger's transit? And all of this came together to have what you see now, which is pretty much a seamless transition, a curb-to-cabin transition.
Well, Jean, thank you so much for telling us a little bit about the Port of Seattle. I'm Barry Vaudrin with Cruising Authority. The next time you're planning a cruise, get in touch with the experts at the Cruise Web. Let's go to Maryland, the headquarters of the Cruise Web, and talk with Mr. Harris about why you should contact them the next time you're planning a cruise.
In addition to our free personal service, you're also going to get the best price as well. That's the best upgrades, the best amenities, the best rates that are available because of our high buying power.
I arrived into Seattle in the morning, so I had a great opportunity to explore this exciting city and to see something I have always wanted to see in Seattle, which was to visit the Seattle Underground. In 1889, the Great Seattle Fire destroyed 31 blocks of the city, and oddly enough, the current city streets were simply built above the burnt wreckage of old Seattle. So much of this old Seattle remains underground for tourists to see and explore with very animated and knowledgeable tour guides.
So within 3 weeks after the fire, you have 20 buildings going up in the downtown area. And now the city's thinking, well, awesome, great, we didn't have time to lay sewage lines, and we're going to have all these nice new Victorian buildings with exploding crappers in them. We haven't fixed anything. So they decided to go ahead with their part of the plan anyway. They're still going to raise up the city. They're just going to raise up the part of the city they own, which is the streets. Okay, guys, the raising of the streets of the blocks that burned is how we get this underground.
After a refreshing morning of exploring Seattle, I boarded the Oosterdam and we departed for Alaska. The first leg of our Alaska itinerary took us to Tracy Arm, which was beautiful to cruise through. This is what an Alaska cruise is all about, the incredible scenery. And we had perfect weather to enjoy the sights. Inside the ship, in the Queen's Lounge and Culinary Arts Center, there was a cooking demonstration where passengers have an opportunity to learn to cook interesting menu items from the executive chef. Each participant also receives a special souvenir cook's apron. How cool is that? My stateroom was 5185, a deluxe veranda with an ocean view. I have to say, this room was very comfortable. The bed linens were soft and the mattress was just right. I also enjoyed all the fun towel animals my steward made each evening. The stateroom was spotless and truly a sanctuary of rest and relaxation. There's so much more to share, so you'll have to watch the next video in this special series filmed aboard the Oosterdam with Holland America Line on an adventurous Alaskan itinerary. Don't forget to contact the experts at the Cruise Web to plan your next cruise. Until next time, I want to wish you smooth seas.